the predator that was always waiting. A hunter grips his spear. The forest is silent. Somewhere in the distance, a branch snaps. It could be a wolf. It could be a cave lion. It could be a saber-toothed cat. Every instinct tells him to run, fight, or hide. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors escaped some of the deadliest predators ever to walk the earth. They learned to control fire, crafted sharper weapons, hunted in groups, and slowly climbed to the top of the food chain. But there was one predator they never defeated. It couldn't be stabbed. It couldn't be trapped. It couldn't be outrun. It followed every hunter, every child, every tribe, and every civilization. No matter how intelligent humans became, this predator always won. And strangely enough, it's still hunting you today. The enemy that shaped humanity. When we think of prehistoric survival, we picture mammoths, giant bears, and packs of wolves. But archaeology, evolutionary biology, and modern medicine reveal a far more terrifying truth. The greatest threat to ancient humans wasn't the animal hiding in the bushes. It was something invisible, patient, and unavoidable. Today, we're uncovering the only predator ancient humans could never outrun, how it shaped every decision our ancestors made, and why your daily habits are still influenced by a battle that began hundreds of thousands of years ago. Humanity's first victory. Early humans weren't the strongest creatures on Earth. They couldn't run faster than horses, bite harder than wolves, or overpower mammoths with raw strength. Yet somehow they survived while many larger and stronger animals disappeared forever. The secret wasn't power. It was cooperation. Ancient humans became the world's greatest problem solvers. They learned that 10 hunters working together were deadlier than one fearless warrior. Fire frightened predators away from camps. Spears allowed hunters to attack from a safe distance. Carefully planned ambushes turned enormous animals into food for entire communities. Archaeological discoveries like the Schöningen spears in Germany, dating back more than 300,000 years, prove that our ancestors were already designing balanced hunting weapons with incredible precision. They weren't primitive cavemen stumbling through the wilderness. They were engineers, strategists, and innovators. Every new invention increased their chances of surviving another winter. Every successful hunt meant another generation would live. Eventually, humans accomplished something almost impossible. They became Earth's ultimate predator. But becoming the hunter didn't mean escaping every danger. The invisible predator. Imagine surviving a hunt against a cave lion. Imagine escaping freezing temperatures, crossing dangerous rivers, and finding enough food to feed your family. Then imagine dying from something you couldn't even see. Ancient humans feared predators they could hear, smell, or fight. But the deadliest enemy often arrived silently. Infection, disease, aging. A tiny cut from a stone tool could become fatal. Drinking contaminated water could wipe out entire groups. A fever could spread through a tribe long before anyone understood what caused it. Modern science tells us that bacteria and viruses existed long before humans evolved. Our ancestors had no microscopes, no antibiotics, no vaccines, and no hospitals. They didn't know why people became sick. They only knew that sometimes the strongest hunter in the tribe would suddenly become weak and never recover. This invisible predator couldn't be tracked across the ground because it left no footprints. Why community became humanity's greatest weapon. So how did humans fight an enemy they couldn't understand? They adapted in the only way they could. They relied on each other. Archaeological sites reveal evidence that injured individuals often survived for years after serious injuries, suggesting they were cared for by their communities. Elderly people with missing teeth lived long enough to heal because others shared food with them. Children learned medicinal plants simply by watching older generations. Fire wasn't only used for warmth. It helped cook food, making it safer to eat and easier to digest. Shared shelters protected families from harsh weather. Knowledge became humanity's greatest survival tool. One person's discovery could save an entire tribe. That instinct never disappeared. Today, when we visit doctors, share medical research, or help family members recover from illness, we're continuing a survival strategy that began long before history was written. The human brain evolved to survive together because no individual could face every danger alone. The predator still hunting you. Here's the strange part. The predator that threatened ancient humans never disappeared. It simply changed its tactics. We no longer fear infected spear wounds, but heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and new viruses have taken their place. Modern medicine has doubled human life expectancy compared to prehistoric times, yet aging remains undefeated. Every heartbeat moves us a little closer to the same finish line our ancestors faced. Our bodies constantly repair damaged cells, fight infections, and replace worn-out tissues. But no repair system lasts forever. Scientists studying aging now understand that growing older isn't caused by one single process, but by many biological changes slowly accumulating throughout life. In other words, the oldest predator in human history has never stopped evolving alongside us. The lesson hidden in human evolution. If death has always been inevitable, why did humans become so successful? Because evolution never promised immortality. It rewarded adaptation. Ancient humans couldn't eliminate danger, so they learned to reduce it. They invented tools instead of stronger muscles. They shared food instead of competing for every meal. They passed knowledge from one generation to the next because experience was more valuable than strength alone. Every invention, from the first controlled fire to modern medicine, is part of the same story. Humans don't survive by becoming invincible. We survive by solving problems faster than they appear. That may be our greatest evolutionary advantage. When people imagine prehistoric life, they usually picture terrifying animals lurking in the darkness. Those predators were certainly real, but they weren't the enemy that ultimately shaped humanity. Disease, aging, and the passage of time claimed far more lives than any cave lion ever could. And yet, instead of surrendering, humans responded the only way they knew how, with intelligence, cooperation, and relentless curiosity. Every hospital, every vaccine, every scientific breakthrough, and every medical discovery is another chapter in a battle our species has been fighting for hundreds of thousands of years. We haven't defeated the oldest predator, but we've become better at delaying its victory than any species before us. If you enjoyed uncovering one of humanity's greatest survival stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Every week, we explore forgotten civilizations, ancient technologies, evolutionary mysteries, and archaeological discoveries that reveal how ordinary humans became the most adaptable species on Earth. Because sometimes the greatest mysteries of history are still shaping your life today.